coming to you live from the Fwoosh news desk, just in time for the Endgame, the Avengers Endgame.
Happening right now.
Happening soon.
If we were newscasters, we wouldn't have that much information.
No, that's correct.
Something's happening.
Something's happening, but we're not going to tell you until after sports.
So stay tuned.
Because is Thanos going to come snap the rest of us out?
I wish I had the technical know-how to do the dusting.
Bye-bye, Robo.
Who says I would be dusted?
Well, you moved out of frame.
I did. I said I would be dusted, I guess.
Yeah, you did. Impromptu, FwooshCast.
Yeah, this wasn't really planned, huh?
No, but
I just kind of called and said,
"Hey, I'm coming up to the Comic-Con in your town." It's how he talks on text messages.
Oh, yeah. That's the voice you have in your head of me whenever you read my text.
Hey, I'm going to come see those guys.
We came up to see Arthur.
I don't know who that is, but
It's Red Dead.
Yep, it's Red Dead. But I do know that we're going to talk about some Marvel Legends because it's almost Avengers time.
Well, it's almost Avengers time. Tonight.
Well,
I don't know when this will go up, but we're talking about it
Tonight.
tonight.
And I just got my pre-order in for Avengers.
Where? Where did you put your pre-order
Courtesy of Dorkside Toys. A couple of really hotly anticipated Marvel Legends waves, one of which is probably supporting the most anticipated Marvel movie of all time, right? Is that slipping into hyperbole?
I don't know. Aren't they projecting it to make like $850 billion the first weekend or something?
Yes, and
like
I'm
that?
not going to see a dime of that.
You're not?
No.
Not for all this promotion we're doing?
No, in fact, I'm going to lose money on it because I'm going to pay to go see this picture.
Are you going to see it for opening weekend?
It's a challenge when your 7-year-old wants to go with you. So it may be, maybe, but it might be the week after that. So.
I just re-upped my AMC Stubs account, so
All right.
I've been building up for some freebie.
Like free popcorn and
Free
soda and corn.
Free tickets.
But we did just pre-order our Avengers Endgame Marvel Legends Series 1. I don't know what else to call it. It's the armored up Thanos, pretty much how you expected him to really look.
Well, and before even saying that, I mean, this is going to be kind of spoiler. If you're it's hard to avoid spoilers at this point.
Yeah.
Even looking at the action figures, it's
Once
coming
the
out
toy
a month.
stuff comes out,
Here's Thanos in
doomed.
armor. Why are we getting this now? He was at the first of Infinity War. Why does he have the gauntlet with the armor on?
We don't know. It's just that
we just get the action figure. So if you're a stickler for spoilers, you may want to. We're going to talk
not be on the internet at all.
Okay. We are going to talk about the X-Men Caliban wave after this. We're going to go through the Avengers. This is essentially a recap episode.
Yeah.
We're going to recap some Avengers wave and then talk about the much anticipated X-Men wave.
Because we got to talk about those before you're snapped out of existence.
Because we're going to talk about some Avengers and then we're going to get to the good stuff. I'm not saying
Isn't
the Avengers
this ridiculous? Isn't this ridiculous? Like the most anticipated Marvel movie of all time, and we're like, yeah, okay, where's the X-Men?
Yeah, because we're spoiled asses. We are spoiled. I mean, with as many Marvel figures that coming right now, we're still like, man, I wish there was more.
But it's going to be a brave new world for X-Men pretty soon.
Yeah,
That acquisition, like a week ago? It's final. Anyway, we're talking about the
Avengers.
toys.
What went up for pre-order today was let's go through the comic figures first.
Okay.
And then that would be Nighthawk.
Nighthawk.
It's cool. I don't know. I'm not a big Defenders guy.
You know, the funny thing about him was that I seem to recall way back in the Toy Biz days, he was like demanded and wished. He was on like every wish list for like every Toy Biz wave before it came out. And then ever since Hasbro, it's like he kind of disappeared. I mean, I haven't seen as much chatter about him, online. It's like, we need a Nighthawk, and then boom, all of a sudden, here he is. I guess maybe I kind of forgot about him, but he hasn't been in top 10s or anything. He's cool.
It's just like he's cool.
He's cool.
But
maybe it's just that it seems like he's been talked about for so long, and then you get it in your head that he's like so overdue that now that he's out, it's like, well, there it is.
Well, the thing about that figure too, with that big ass cape that he has, even Hasbro is having problems of putting it in very dynamic action poses because the cape is. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
If it were cloth, it'd be way better.
It would not be way better.
No, but it's a figure I need. I need to eventually do some kind of Defenders display or Squadron Supreme. Is that? I mean, I never read a lot of that either.
Yeah, but that just begs the question right now: is like, where do I put him on the shelf? Because most of the guys that he would be in with like Defenders or whatnot. They're kind of in other places on my shelf right now. But I don't know. It's cool. I'm glad he's finally coming. So that's a long-standing, Toy Biz days.
I think I'm a little bit more excited for Hercules though.
Hercules is cool.
Not a classic look.
Not the look I would have preferred. I much prefer the look of the original Marvel Legends Hercules that we got. But when it comes to comparison, just strictly on a figural basis, there is no comparison.
This is going to be a much better action figure than the original. And but I'm okay with the modern look.
Yeah, it's not a bad look.
I like the update.
It's not a bad look. I know in the comic it was the man bun Hercules for a little while, and I think everybody's probably had enough to do with that, but the figure does look good. A little while ago, you think you got them figured out when it's like, oh, well, they just released this character, that's going to be it for a while. And it's like, we've gotten, I can't even count the amount of Cyclops figures that we've gotten and that we are still getting. And there are other characters too. So, there's no ruling out a classic Hercules. The vintage waves have really taken off for them. That he could be a cool one to fit into there. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm always like, okay, I've got a modern Thor that can be with a modern Hercules. It's like, why do I always put those two together? I don't know, but they look cool standing next to each other.
Now we need a Gilgamesh. Huh?
You think that'll ever happen?
I don't know.
We finally got.
That's about the time your Fantastic Four was on the Avengers, right? Well, at least Reed and Sue at the same time. Gilgamesh. I can't remember who else was in there.
See, now you're stumping me.
Don't even get
camera,
me
so
yeah.
But please provide answers below.
But speaking of modern takes on classic characters, Living Laser.
Living Laser, again, not the version I necessarily would have picked, but I think it's probably my most anticipated figure from the series, which is weird. I'll tell you why. That translucent hot pink, it's freaking awesome.
You know what it makes me think? Is it Vector or is it the other one from the UFOs? I think that would be a good base body if you wanted to do a custom of the UFOs. And then the last comic character would be, and this one hurts. We have Songbird. But it makes me want Thunderbolt so bad. Is Citizen V. I like the design of it. I love the Thunderbolt.
And it's funny. It's like even with Living Laser in an assortment, he was still the one that caught me off guard as being a part of this wave, and I don't know why. But
they pushed the three of them for a little bit, and they had announced Citizen V, but I guess I just assumed it was in a later assortment.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, pop right into here.
It's strange because what we know of this Avengers wave and the next one, at least for comic characters, it's really a kind of a crazy ass mix of Avengers adjacent characters or whatnot, and certainly not anyone that has that instant shelf recognition to a casual fan. I get it. It's in an assortment with Captain America and these other guys that are going to carry it that way. But it's funny that this massive movie and it's pulling these kind of not obscure, but just not
I can see this is the toe in the water wave. This is the one that's going to ride into the movie. So if it's branded Avengers, it's more likely to.
Because then you got Rock Python.
Because it's branded Avengers. People are going to see it and just think, it's Avengers.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Most or all of them, they have cool looks going for them.
Yeah.
A bright, hot pink Marvel Legend. You don't have that.
A half-naked dude.
Well, he's got pants now.
Well, at half naked.
Yeah, well.
Right?
Straps, maybe.
Yeah, straps kind of cover. Okay, a third naked dude.
Third, okay.
Yeah, and then Nighthawk is a nice classic spandex wearing kind of big cape superhero.
Yeah, and like you said, Citizen V, he's got a look.
He's got a sword.
Extremely varied in their look, but all cool.
Citizen V has kind of that patriotic look to him, though.
Yeah. With don't let that fool you.
Yeah. How many Zemos is this? Oops. There's a spoiler for you.
Comic spoiler from how many years ago?
But then we get into the movie figures. And I'm excited about the movie figures too. Of course, I like movie figures. You've plateaued and kind of come
I
back
go
down,
like
right?
this. It's like Guardians, Black Panther, Ragnarok. Man, those are awesome movie figures. And then kind of Avengers, the last Avengers series, Ant-Man. It's like, okay. But there are a couple of really strong ones because I really like the Black Order.
Does this finish? Does this finish?
I guess it depends on when you get them, right? Because essentially, Ebony Maw and Corvus Glaive are being released at the same time. So whoever you find second out of that will finish your Black Order.
Right,
then, so.
And it's more of a concept art wave. if you want to get technical about it. Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, they're both fairly close to what we saw in the movie. Proxima Midnight, pretty close. Different colors are wrong and stuff.
Yeah.
But man,
Black
I
Dwarf.
gotta think Black Dwarf. Cull Obsidian.
Cull Obsidian, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you got to figure at some point they're going to re-release him like they have Thanos.
Yeah,
you know,
just in a pack.
Just with we missed the, here's the concept art one. We need one that looks like the movie.
Yeah.
So with the more clothes on and everything like that, which I would not turn down at all.
No, because then it would make this one kind of like a cool, just like brute.
Yeah.
Background brute of some kind,
But
background brute.
But Ebony Maw fits right into there. I can't.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah. Squidward.
But okay, yeah, but he's still the coolest out of all of them.
He is coolest. He was the most threatening.
Yep.
Even though you had the
least amount of
agiles,
action.
Yeah, the one with the weapons and stuff, and then you had the big brute guy, but the guy that floats and
does that.
Yeah. And then there's Ronin. This is a surprise. I mean, we saw him in the very first trailer. Wasn't it the very first trailer? They blow the reveal right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, they wrote it out a little bit, didn't
they? Yeah, they did, but I think one of the, I've been trying desperately hard to avoid spoilers for this movie as
Did I just spoil something?
No,
okay.
as I was the previous Avengers movie, but even before the last one came out, one of the earliest leaked set pictures is like somebody caught Hawkeye walking around in that outfit. It was like, boom, we got him. So,
but the outfit looks cool. It's it's got comic book elements. It has tactical elements for the movie. It's kind of realistic.
And it's just like Clint's fucking pissed now, So it's like, oh, why is he so mad? It's like, is he?
And I like the look at the figure. Apparently, you can take the jacket off. It already has a removable hood on and off, and you can take the jacket off, and it still has the look from the movie poster, I think, under it or something like that.
Okay, that's cool.
And then the last movie figure is, people are calling this a spoiler, even though we see it in the trailer, or at least the suits in the trailer. That would be Captain America in his Quantum Realm suit. Is that what they're calling it? Again, I feel like with Cull Obsidian, this time around, again, it's early concept art, early colors. Because for the movie, they can change it up to the last minute. And then suddenly Hasbro,
they're left holding the bag.
Yeah, because they put their figures into production, or at least prototyping, several months before that.
Yeah.
So they're always behind the curve on this.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a much better Captain America than we got in the first Avengers wave for the last movie. The first Thanos build.
I replaced that head.
Yeah, it's not good.
That one's
not
gone.
good.
No. But the good thing about if you don't collect movie figures, then Captain America is the double in the box. But if you do collect movie figures and you do want to do the QR suits, then you want to go into Target is also releasing a 2-pack with QR suit Hawkeye and QR suit Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow.
Why do I? You know why I get them mixed up? It's Black Widow. The actress's name is Scarlett Johansson, and I always go to Scarlet, and then my brain somehow, no, Avenger, dumbass, and then I throw Witch on the end of it, and I've done it in the reviews.
Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson.
Anyway, the 2-pack has a QR suit Black Widow, and then it includes the head of Nebula and Ant-Man and Iron Man.
Yes.
Now, if you weren't buying the wave and you want QR suits for all those heads in the package, you have to buy 3 2-packs. But if you buy the case of Marvel Legends, you end up with an extra Captain America that you can use the body for one of the heads out of the 2-pack. That way you only have to buy 2 of the 2-packs.
Boom.
And then you have the whole team.
That's like reverse snapping. It brings them back in double, and it's that math that gets it.
Then you have the whole team. Well, except for, we won't go into spoilers. But apparently that's not the whole team, but it's all the main characters in their suits. I'm all for each member of the team being different, but this one Tom, which apparently will be a very short Tom, they're all in a matching uniform. They're all, showing up at work or showing up at the prom going, what? We both wore black hoodies.
This is our quantum.
This is our quantum world suits.
We get cool new looks for these characters, and Thanos. The way that I think probably everybody is like has wanted him to be. It's like he was really cool in the last Avengers movie, but it's like that was his casual look. Now he's like, I mean business. So I think this is definitely a much better Build-A-Figure to go along with this. But I think that with these 2 Avengers movies coming out, 1 year after the next, which is good because it's kind of like a 2-part of one big, but character fatigue sets in. Maybe just a little bit, It's like we've gotten a lot of Captain Americas and Thanos, Iron Man. It's not a fault. We're getting Hawkeye looking.
Plus, that's another
badass.
good thing about 4 of the characters being comic. It kind of rides that wave of I get all these comic characters. But after that, another wave that's on the water right now that should be hitting. I'm going to say within the next month.
I hope so, because
they're saying May, right, as the estimated arrival date, but they've already shipped out.
Yeah,
they're already coming.
Yeah, and I've been and really, we haven't known the full contents of this wave since last July, but they've really kept us jonesing for the thought of this.
They did show the whole wave, huh?
Was it the whole one?
No, was it? I'm going to have to recheck my sources.
No, because they didn't show Beast at Comic-Con.
That is true. They showed Beast at one of the
later in international shows, right? Or
they showed Gambit at San Diego. Well, let's just go through the figures.
Okay.
The first one that's going to load is
Weapon X.
You're starting. That's W. That's all the way at the bottom. My notes, they're not in order. They're Weapon X, though, is a good one to start with because it's Wolverine. It's Naked Logan. But it's iconic.
I was going to say, this is a figure that is more important to the history of Wolverine than it might be to something for you to put to represent on your shelf, really, unless you just have this Wolverine subsection of your collection, which you could because we've got a zillion Wolverine figures right now, but it is extremely well done. In my opinion. He looks great. He's got crazy ass Logan head.
I see people complaining that where are they going to put it on the shelf? Like you were just talking about, is he supposed to be by himself? Because at that point, it's just him breaking out of Weapon X. And then when we get the Guardian figure, isn't that who finds him, or was it her? Was it them?
Like I said, I don't necessarily need him to be associated with anybody else on the shelf. He'll just
he's standing there by himself. As many Wolverines as we have. Of course, now that they're doing a lot more X-Men, he'll be able to fit into several places. Because to me, he could fit right in if they ever do any more Alpha Flight.
Well, use your imagination. I was going to say, that's what I was going to say. Use your imagination. Have Weapon X wandering around the forests of Canada, run into Wendigo and fight their asses off.
Yeah. Even though we don't know when Wendigo or Wendigo as
Wendigo,
we don't know where he's coming now.
Here's my thing. I hope that he's not the Build-A-Figure for the X-Force wave, because then that means we're getting another X-Men wave.
No, that's going to be in a later wave than that. You mentioned Beast. I still wish he was coming with a calmer head, but you got to think he's going to be repacked somewhere, being an all-new body.
All-new body. They're going to get some mileage out of that. He's pre-release my favorite figure of the assortment,
even with the angry head.
Just because so they're building the Lee team, right? But even more so than that, there are some characters that they're building specifically that X-Men #1 fold out cover.
And that face works.
That face is perfect for that, because the Magneto that's coming later in the 3-pack, he's got a head that.
It's called Family Matters.
What
are you laughing at?
He's my favorite figure of the wave, not having them in hand, even with just the angry hand. He serves the purpose with that face, and he's got the hand that he can balance on for his pose specifically.
But you got to think later on, if they do release it with a lab coat and a calmer face, that
glasses,
maybe switch the hands up there or something.
That would be.
And then we have interchangeable hands between the two figures.
Yeah, it's just that figure is so. It's perfect, I think, for what it's supposed to represent.
Because my iconic vision of Jim Lee team, or at least that era, was one, the cover of one, and then there was a poster. Was it a fold-out poster?
Where
and
he's at vertical though.
He's doing this at the bottom,
and it's got, but that's got like all kinds of characters.
But I need all those characters.
Yeah,
it's hard to pick one out of this wave. Stupid
too
X-Men.
good. It's too good. Yeah.
Because did you ever read Exiles? I know Blink from Exiles. Blink to me is an exile, and I think this is a representation of her from that series, which is very, very cool. Yeah. But now I need more Exiles. Damn it, man. Yeah. If nothing else, I need a morph. I hate starting new teams, but I love it, you know?
Well,
because
I used to hate starting new teams too, because it was like, are they ever going to finish them? But I mean, look at this Jim Lee team. I mean, if that Wendigo, like we were talking about, isn't the Build-A-Figure for the X-Force wave, and he is for a later wave, with everything that's coming out, that team may be finished by the end of this year.
Right. I need a re-release of Jean.
Yeah.
I need a better Jean.
Yeah.
As much as I don't care for that costume. Of course, I never cared much about the Lee costumes in the first place, so make me like it, Hasbro. Do a Jean that makes me like that costume.
Yeah, but I mean, as it stands, it's really just her, Storm, and Iceman. Right?
Give her an alternate head with a ponytail. Ba-boom, done.
Yeah.
And Iceman. Did you say Iceman? Yeah, sorry, I was focused on Jean there for a second.
I said Iceman.
But then we go further back to the 80s with Forge.
Yeah, but he did show up.
He did show up later, and during the Lee era, right? To me, Forge is always out back. Forge is the asshole that took Storm's powers away. You know what I mean? Thought you loved her. Yeah. No. Well, didn't he invent the weapon that was used on her? So inadvertently. But still, Storm wasn't happy about it. But I like Forge. I like the power. It's something that you wouldn't think of when you want to be a superhero. It's like, hey, I can build
things. It's a weird power. It's like, how does that manifest itself as a mutation? You know, right. It's like, isn't that just like really smart? But I don't know. But it is cool.
It took me years and years to realize the name was based on his power. He could forge.
Forge.
I know. Shh.
Oh, what was your?
I don't know.
You didn't know? The name didn't make sense, or were you associating it to?
I guess at that point I didn't realize that Forge meant that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Back in the day, before the internet and such.
Forge a sword or weapons.
Yeah, forge technology. Now, did Gambit show up before the Lee era?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was during that time when Storm was pissed off about everything.
But nobody really remembers because he was so omnipresent.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
During the Lee era, yeah. So
I'm coming around to the people, I don't know, the head is starting, now that we're seeing more and more closer pictures, and it fits, but at the same time, the hair, I always picture it straight up. Or, or coming, really? Yeah.
See, I always think off to the side a little bit. This is like, I get what it is, though. This is almost like a hybrid of the two.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of being one or the other, I think when you try to appease everyone, you end up. Yeah,
it's a hard game to play.
Yeah, and they could have gone the same. I mean, there's nothing out there confirming that we're going to see Beast again. We're just speculating, but they could have gone the same way with Gambit too, as gotten us to buy two of them. Okay, well, here's the kind of over hair for the first one, and then the shorter hair would be released later.
And not saying that may not happen either.
Yeah, it could. This is a good Gambit figure, and it does what I need a Gambit figure to do. I'm not a super fan of the character. That figure is gonna look great with the Rogue figure. He's gonna look great with the rest of the Lee ones, and he can kind of stand off to the side and say, "Don't you talk, because all shall."
Don't do Cajun. Brett will get onto us. And then to add to that era, someone else that she was Lee, but I grew to know her in the Outback era. I kind of wish we got that original costume. Come on, man. That's like getting a Sprite before a Shadow Cat, but Jubilee.
Yeah.
Got one a few years ago. It was okay, but it wasn't.
And hard to get.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'll say this. This figure, in my opinion, is cooler than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
Because that bubblegum blowing head, that's awesome.
Is it attached to that head, though? I mean, is it the whole alternate head?
I think so.
It's mounted in there? I mean, it's not like a removable piece or something?
No, because that probably just look weird.
Yeah. That would look weird.
Yeah.
And always have a hole, so that makes sense. What? Well, I don't know. It's another one of those things we've seen so many pictures.
Yeah.
So many pictures of this wave.
But I
can't
haven't
keep track of all of them.
I haven't seen them in person yet.
Soon.
It's not soon enough.
We've seen them in person.
Well, yeah.
Several. Twice.
I haven't been able to hold the figures. Hold them tightly.
Good Lord. And then finally, you notice I saved the last. And I tried to transition.
Save.
Yeah. I just mentioned Jubilee was introduced in the Outback era. And a big villain of the Outback era would be Reaver Skullbuster. This is one of those things that I could have done without for a while. I mean, when I think of villains I needed, I always thought of the Reavers, but then I always thought, man, we're probably never going to get Reavers.
Yeah, especially when it's like, we don't have the Brotherhood, or like the classic Brotherhood even.
You have Family Matters coming. It's a start to another team that may not be finished for a while.
I will say this, they've got some really cool looks, or at least unique looks.
I can see the anger involved with us just getting ahead for a different character. We've seen the same thing with Lilandra. Lilandra from the Arg Empire. They give us a head and here in this case they give us Reese, which is cool. But I'm gonna have to go out and find a body. And people are talking about buying another Skullbuster, putting it on there, and even in their promotional shots they put the Reese head on Skullbuster, and that's okay. But I think of Reese and Macon and Cole as standard size people.
Yeah, and it's too
because
bad
they were Hellfire guards.
Yeah, it's too bad if Nuke was like a normal sized dude and not giant. I mean, it would be all the way there for me as far as I'm concerned. But he's just a little too big.
Nuke is big too. Yeah. I'm seeing people talk about, I don't know, I'm gonna have to find something with fatigues. I could probably use the vest out of the Hydra pack or something. I don't know. There's going to be some kit bashing going on here. Because then you're going to have to ×3 it. So hopefully they do give us Megan and Cole. Well, you can make
a lot to keep up with.
With some paint, you can make two. Or all three of them? Are they? No, one of them's wearing a different style helmet.
Or they could just give us Lady Deathstrike.
And Pretty Boy. and Donald Pierce.
And then.
And Attack Track or whatever. Bone Crusher,
yeah. So I don't think it's a secret. If it is, it's like the worst kept secret that the Marvel Legends line manager Dwight Stahl is a big Reavers fan,
right?
And if he finds a way to do Bone Crusher somehow,
it's got to be a Build-A-Figure, right?
It's got to be. I would think, but.
This may be years down the road, though. I mean, we're talking a long game here.
Well, yeah. There's a potential that they're going to throw 4 X-Waves at us.
Shut your mouth.
This year.
I'm going to need
this one.
Actually, I have a daughter going to college this summer, so
not anymore.
I'm going to need more.
All that tuition money's being spent on X-Men Legends.
She go to college. Go to work, go find her own place, something. I needed the extra room for X-Men toys.
The extra room.
The extra. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. The extra toy room.
It's stupid to say, oh man, I can't remember the last time a Marvel Legends wave was so hyped because so many of them are extremely hyped. It just seems like this one has been at this like boiling point where people are ready to explode for a long time. And it seems like, because you mentioned it before, that even Hasbro's feeling it because they have sent out so many different press pictures for this wave. And I mean, really, we're talking about there are 2 Avengers waves supporting what will likely be the biggest movie of the year. And it's like,
here's more X-Men.
Here's more X-Men. And granted, they can't show everything, this and that, but yeah, I think they're feeling the hype for it. So I don't know if they've got numbers, the orders are huge for it or whatever.
If it keeps working, work it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a saying, but
it is
now.
If it keeps working.
If it's working, keep working it. That's not what I said, though.
No, it's not. You can't even remember your own catchphrase.
Yeah. Damn it, I had a catchphrase for 2 seconds.
And then... I haven't been this excited for an individual Marvel Legends wave for a long time. And
now, don't get me wrong, I haven't hated any of those.
No. It's just there's something about this one, and they were smart to release the Ultimate Riders. Is that what they're calling them, or the Marvel Legends Rides series? The new assortment that finally gave
vehicles.
Yeah, gave us the Professor X and the hover chair that everybody's been clamoring for. That was just like a perfectly, in my opinion, a perfectly executed figure that just like wet the palate perfectly for this next X line. It's like, because now you've got your centerpiece to that X-Men team, right? It's like Chuck sits in the middle and everybody else can look around the chair.
It was about this time last year that we got the Apocalypse Wave, right?
I came up here
and looked at your set.
We had the Canadian
You
Apocalypse.
ruined me. I haven't opened that set yet.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's another reason I'm looking forward to this X-Men wave.
Oh God.
Well, I need space, right? I need to open up some space.
Yeah.
And two, I already played with them.
Yeah, but I mean, you.
I know. Believe me, I know. I go to bed every night and go, why haven't I opened that Apocalypse Wave yet?
Well,
that's my first thought.
And I'll be honest with you, is that I've fallen into that a little bit because of my recent move and the fact that the space that we're in right now is in progress for like the collection space. It's like the only like gratification I've gotten out of actually my hobby is getting new stuff and then in a bag. See you in a few months. Heck, I've even pulled them out a few times just because that Wolverine is fun.
But haven't we gotten X-Men since then?
Chuck.
Did you just say Chuck?
Chuck. We got Chuck and Chair.
That sounds like a bad restaurant.
Chuck. Anyway,
Marvel Legends. There's the recap for the last two waves. Or no, the next two waves.
The next two waves.
I'm already past them.
Well, the next two waves, and it's like within the next month, we'll probably have both of them. There's so much. And frankly, when it comes to X-Men, because that's what, I mean, it seems like that's what we're the most hyped about is X-Men and Legends right now, is that with the Colossus release.
You say that though, but when I saw the in-stock thing on Corvus Glaive and Loki, man, my ass was out the door. It was like,
well, Legends is new Legends.
New Legends is new Legends.
You can have stratification with, I mean, okay, the hype for Legends in general is right here, but then you can reach above that on.
It's working.
I went out of frame even for that. So.
I mean, it's working, so they're working it. So, I mean, I could say I'm more hyped for X-Men, but that doesn't mean my hype for Avengers stuff is way down here because it's
right
there too.
But you got the in stock that Corvus and Loki were there, so you ran right out. But I mean, if you would have like not even been fully dressed and you got the in stock alert for the X-Men wave, your ass would have been out the door even faster. It would have been. With classic Colossus coming out for me, then
shut your mouth. I don't even want to think about the 2-packs and stuff.
No, I know, it's so cool.
Anyway, rambled. Not unusually long, but quite a while about upcoming Marvel Legends stuff.
Yeah,
and we need to do a wish list.
Yeah.
This
was off the cuff. So
last time we thought way too hard about it.
Yeah.
We need a good old. I want this.
Yeah, we should have been a little bit more organized and wish list the slots that we don't know. For the waves that are still coming this year.
We can't remember what we do.
That's.
Like I said, like we said at the first, this wasn't planned.
No, and
I just came knocking on.
Hey, I just drove up here from the show. You want to talk about toys with me?
And we're kind of in the spot right now where it's like we're between Toy Fair and we're between Comic-Con.
Now Star Wars Celebration coming up next week, but who knows what we'll see about that.
I think we're gonna get hit hard with original trilogy stuff again next year because it's 40th of
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, they've already had a fan poll for one of them.
But
Dagobah Luke.
No,
it's not. I'll still buy it.
Well, yeah, I'll still buy it. It's an essential Luke. But I mean, if you look at the other characters that were running alongside that, it's like
Wilrow Hood. I need a Wilrow Hood.
Yeah.
Did you vote?
Maybe.
Who'd you vote for?
That's confidential.
We don't discuss politics on this channel. I voted for Lobot, and Lobot's my man.
I voted for Lobot. Of course I did.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's done.
All right, it's time to snap this out of here because we're done. We got kind of a con schedule coming up, but hopefully we'll be able to put together a more thought out show, and we'll see how this place progresses. Maybe we'll get to shoot against a different spot next time.
I don't know. I like the blue.
Fade to blue.
We will probably catch you on the Fwoosh.
Probably.
I wish I had the technology. I probably do. It's just one of those things that I have no clue how to use.
If we had a real editor.
You son of a bitch. You son of a